So, and then Carlin, he's done a nice job of covering as well. So I've been pleased with that group.
Hey, Joe. Good afternoon. Who are some of the players you're sort of most excited to see playing guys in other jerseys in New England, whether it be practice or the game?
Oh, that's the whole defense. I mean, I want to see us just go compete against another group. So I don't have one person that I'm most excited to see. I'm excited to see the play style come to life, and can we continue to do what we're doing out here on a consistent basis against another opponent.
What do you make of Cam Medrano's skill set, and sort of how do you think he kind of fits into what you guys do?
You know, Kane is one of those multi-positional players that we're carving out a role for him. He's defining it himself. He's doing a better job of covering than he did in the spring on tight ends. He showed a level of physicality. Now, can he consistently do it? That's one thing that we need to see when we go to New England, because we know how they're going to try to be bully ball a little bit. So is he that slash between, like I said, Jeremy Chin or Frankie? We're still trying to figure that part out of it.
How have you seen Von Miller kind of integrate himself with this defense, both kind of on the field and in the classroom?
You know, in the classroom, let's start there. His first couple of days were like pass rush seminars, you know, and the guys were really being sponges to him. When you have a guy with a wealth of knowledge that he has, you know, the guys are going to listen to. And then when you get out there and we get into some of our known pass situations and you see the looks that we have, and Tap again and DQ have done a nice job of putting some packages together that gives those guys a little bit more freedom. And it's fun to watch those guys rush. He can still get off the ball. He can bend the corner. He can bend. He can spin. And then you see DA doing some really nice things in his rush. You see Jacob doing some really nice things. So it's been good to watch.
Going back to Marshawn, what is it that you're seeing out here that maybe you weren't able to see last year because of what he was going through?
Well, he's out there. That's the first thing, okay? He's consistently out there. We last year he went and fought his ass off, and he didn't practice very often, and so that's hard on the player. But he's a competitor, so he was willing to go do that and not be afraid of the result. You know, he just wanted to go out there and compete and help us win. And I think people lose that sometimes when the play might not be what you desired to be. But the dog-ass competitor you can never go away from. But to answer your question, he's a really good press player. That's who I am, who we want to be. Nice feet. He still can hold the vertical control, and he's very, very competitive. So I've been pleased with where he is.
Because of that, what you said with him and what you was talking about with Trey and Mikey and that group, what can you do up front that can add to what this defense does?
You know, right now it's a combination, and I taught those guys about it. So I don't want anybody to get lost in translation when I talk about the run game. It's 11-man football. You know, it wasn't the issues last year. It wasn't just the front. All right, we didn't do a great job on all three levels. In the pass game, once again, it's 11-man football. The back end cover, that gives the rush a chance to get to the second rush, or if the rush can speed up the time clock of the quarterback, now you can play some more zone type coverages and confuse the quarterback. So it's all 11-man football, and we have to play as one.
Hey, Joe, obviously going back to OTAs, this is all about a progression, getting better all the time, hopefully. Who are some of the guys on defense that you have seen going back to the spring that you've seen kind of just get better and better?
Right now, you know, I just seen the whole group get better. You know, I was trying to think of somebody to really single out, but I talked to DQ yesterday about, you know, raising the floor, and I just seen the entire group get better, and that's what I want to see more than just an individual. If we can, you know, get better as a group. So I'm not trying to dodge a question at all, but the entire group has raised the level of play.
Johnny Newton, obviously he's had an off season this year as opposed to last year. Where is he at with his progression, and how closer do you think he is to like getting to, you know, level you guys are hoping him to be?
I thought Johnny had a good day today, man. He had some really nice rushes, some one-on-one wins. He's healthy. His feet are good, so we're expecting the guy that we drafted to really show, this year. He was behind the 8 ball some because he was dealing with those injuries last year. And so knock on wood that he can stay healthy and we can get the best version of him.
Hey, Coach. So I asked Coach Quinn a similar question this morning. So when you look at practice, what kind of equals for you a good day for your defense? And then what would then equal we got to do better at the next practice?
When we go to practice, there's sometimes I know I'm making calls that are going to put them in stressful situations. And so, all right, can we just execute the call? Can we send the ball where we want to send it? There's certain calls that they shouldn't be able to run the ball. So if they run the ball on that call, that's a negative. There's certain calls, all right, if we have outside leverage in the pass game, they can't catch outside breakers. And so as long as we're playing the defense, and then when we get into our situations in our competitive periods, do we win? That's just that simple. Do we win those situations in those competitive periods? And that's what we look for. And when we go in there, we put it up on the board. All right, did we win? Did we lose? And why did we win or lose?
Good afternoon, Coach.
How you doing?
These joint practices throughout the league are becoming more common with other teams. From a defensive standpoint, what is the value of these joint practices for your squad?
It goes both ways. So, when you go against each other so much, they start to know your calls. You start to know their calls. You get used to the releases of the receivers. You get used to the sets of the blockers. So it's just good to go against new bodies, and now you can see, all right, are we doing what we need to do, or are we just used to playing a certain group of guys? Can we play our play style on the road? Can we travel with it? So I really enjoy joint practices, and hopefully, with DQ, we can keep it clean. The league has had a couple fights the last couple years, and we don't operate that way. We're a clean unit, and so hopefully we get up there and just get good work in, get quality work from both sides.
Coach Quinn had mentioned using the offseason for the coaches as well to kind of like reassess and see what went well and what you needed to be improved on from last season. Is there anything that you as a coach, you looked at and said, this is what I want to get better at going into training camp? Yeah,
there were a number of things. To myself, and this might sound silly, my motto, and I have it on my board right now, is let's do what's right, don't necessarily be right. As coaches, you think you have all the answers all the time, and so I'm being very cautious to listen to everybody and make sure I'm doing what's right, not necessarily trying to prove that I am right, if that makes sense. And so allowing the coaches just to coach, getting out the way, putting the scheme in, detailing it out from a schematic standpoint in the meeting rooms, and allowing them to go do it, and focus on calling it in the right situations, and then making sure that we're putting the players in the best situation, utilizing them. I don't think I did a good enough job in certain spaces with Frankie and Jeremy. We did good jobs, but the whole 11, I have to do a better job of using people's skill sets. So those were the 3 main things that I really focused on my growth. Yeah.
Coach, so much of this identity in this defense is fast and physical. What specific traits or habits are you emphasizing in camp to build that identity, especially with young guys, a guy like Jeremy Reeves, who the other day was talking about how the game has kind of slowed down for him after, a rebound year last year?
Yeah, we talk about mind speed. So if we can think fast, we can play fast. We go hard. We don't practice necessarily long, but we go really, really hard. And so make sure we're chasing the ball. Make sure we're being physical up front. We're not letting the ball get through. And you just have to practice that way. You have to live that way. This is an intense environment that AP and DQ have set, a very competitive environment, and you have to get used to living that way. And one thing I would say is, everybody in that defensive room lives that way for real. In the past, there might have been some resistors that, there's nobody. Everybody gets down the way that we want to get down right now. And so, and that's fun. And that's fun to go. So I'm excited about this next pocket of going against the Patriots and being where our feet are and seeing how the next couple of days go. Yeah. All right, y'all have a great one. Hey, let's get the energy when Cliff gets up here a little bit better than when I came up here. All right.